In the world of Hollywood, where the stars shine brightly and interviewers crave sensations, there's one figure whose composure has become legendary. Tom Cruise. He may smile on screen, but don't mistake kindness for weakness. Because when you cross a line, he doesn't yell. He doesn't curse. He'll simply dissect your entire question, your tone, your intentions, and your professionalism in seconds. And he'll do it without even raising his voice. This is the story of the man who redefined composure in Hollywood, a global icon, a lightning rod, and someone you should never attack with provocative questions. From awkward talk shows to confrontational interviews, let's explore situations where Tom Cruise handled everything without breaking a sweat. Trap. Hypothesis. In a separate interview, Tom was asked a strange hypothetical question. It was a veiled jab, implying that his life was abnormal, that his fame had made him less human.
Tom, if we're going back to Mission Impossible, one of my favourite bits of tech in that movie is, of course, the masks, right? And the reveal. Fun. If you could have a mask of just an average person, no one knows who you are, and you could walk about your life, no one knows that you're Tom Cruise, what are you doing?
Beg your pardon?
What are you doing? Like, it's not you.
What would I do?
Yeah, what would you do? No one knows it's you. They can't be there.
No, but I just do the same thing I always do.
Go watch movies.
Go watch movies. Exactly. Go make movies. Go tour the world. You know, I feel look, it's a privilege. It's a dream of mine my whole life to do what I do and travel the world, the places where I was in America, and just work in these environments. And the kind of welcome that I get, I never take it for granted. It's very beautiful. So I enjoy it. I enjoy people, you know, and people are so kind to me, and I really cherish those moments. I really do. And it's something that I like having a chat. You know what I mean?
Tom was not at a loss. He owned it because he knew exactly who he was and didn't need to justify himself to anyone. Violation of boundaries. Australian interviewer Peter Overton asked a question that millions of people were likely wondering about. But instead of getting a juicy answer, he was tested.
Was Nicole the love of us for that sincerely?
Good. Listen, here's the thing, Peter.
Yeah.
You're stepping over a line.
Tom stared at him. Peter faltered. What had started as an attempt to open personal wounds had turned into a masterclass in boundary setting. Asian reporter, the power of silence.
물리겠다는 도널드 트럼프 미국.
A reporter from Asia once asked Tom about Trump-era tariffs in foreign films. It was a complex, politically charged question, disguised as simple curiosity.
I'd like to ask this question to anyone who's up for it. I watched the film, and I saw that it was filmed in many different locations around the world, including Africa. And of course, we all are aware of the tariffs that President Donald Trump has been imposing on overseas productions and films. So is this particular movie under that tariff? And also, how much of the film was shot overseas? I think that's a fair answer. All right. Can we move on to the next question, please?
No reaction, no comment, just a subtle shift in expression. It was rude. Without saying a word, sometimes silence is the loudest response you can give. Abandoning games. It all started out as a typical fun episode where Ellen DeGeneres tries to act and fails.
And Britney or Christina?
What do you mean?
Britney Spears? I don't know. I'm not even sure what I mean.
I've never thought about it.
All right. Right.
Tom's refusal to answer wasn't rude. It was deliberate. He'd made it clear he didn't play games outdoors. Not on camera. Ever. And this was just a warm-up. The battle for facts. Tom Cruise turned up the heat during his interview with Matt Lauren. Tom laid out the facts. It was 2005, And Tom was under pressure for his stance against antidepressants, particularly against actress Brooke Shields. She said that it was antidepressants that helped her feel better, regardless of whether it was the antidepressants or seeing a psychologist.
And as far as the Brooke Shields thing is, look, you got to understand, I really care about Brooke Shields. I think here's a wonderful and talented woman. And I want to see her do well. And I know that psychiatry is a pseudoscience.
But Tom, if she said that this particular thing helped her feel better, whether it was the antidepressant or going to a counselor or a psychiatrist, isn't that enough?
Matt, you have to understand this. Here we are today, where I talk out against drugs and psychiatric abuses, of electric shocking people, okay, against their will, of drugging children with them not knowing the effects of these drugs. Do you know what Adderall is? Do you know Ritalin? Do you know now that Ritalin is a street drug? Do you understand that?
The difference is this was not
Matt,
against
Matt,
her
I'm
will,
ask-
though.
Matt,
But this wasn't
I'm
against
asking you a
Brooke's
question.
will.
Matt, I'm asking you a question.
I understand there's
no,
abuse of all of these things.
No, you see, here's the problem. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do.
Aren't there examples, and might not Brooke Shields be an example of someone who benefited from one of those drugs?
All it does is mask the problem, Matt. And if you understand the history of it, it masks the problem. That's what it does. That's all it does.
Matt insisted, but Tom didn't budge.
No such thing as a chemical imbalance.
So
in a body.
postpartum depression to you is
Matt,
kind of a little
don't-
psychological gobbledygook?
No, I did not say that.
I'm just asking, what would you call it?
Matt, that is the post. Now you're talking about two different things.
But that's what she went on the
No.
antidepressant for.
But what happens, the antidepressant, all it does is mask the problem. There's ways of vitamins and through exercise and various things. I'm not saying that that isn't real. That's not what I'm saying. That's an alteration of what I'm saying. I'm saying that drugs aren't the answer, that these drugs are very dangerous. They're mind-altering, antipsychotic drugs. And there are ways of doing it without that so that we don't end up in a brave new world. The thing that I'm saying about Brooke is that there's
Matt tried to soften the conflict, but Tom's voice never wavered.
Asking, isn't there a possibility that, do you examine the possibility that these things do work for some people? That yes, there are abuses, and yes, maybe they've gone too far in certain areas. Maybe there are too many kids on Ritalin. Maybe electric shock.
Too many kids on Ritalin. Matt.
I'm just saying, but aren't there
Matt,
examples where it works?
Matt, you don't even, you're glib. You don't even know what Ritalin is. If you start talking about chemical imbalance, you have to evaluate and read the research papers on how they came up with these theories, Matt. Okay? That's what I've done. And you go and you say, where's the medical test? Where's the blood test that says how much Ritalin you're supposed to get?
It's very impressive to listen to you because clearly you've done the homework and you know the subject.
And you should. And you should do that also because just knowing people who are on Ritalin isn't enough. You should be a little bit more responsible in knowing.
No shouting, no insults, just a razor-sharp precision that made Laura look clueless. It was tense, uncomfortable, and became legendary. Protection, friendship. And then came the Sophia Bella interview. It was light and breezy at first. The conversation was about the fight scene between Tom and Russell Crowe. But then another reporter intervened with that strange question.
You do have these high standards for yourself with these stunts, but everyone else has to step up. Russell Crowe has said that in this film, he plays Dr. Jekyll. You have a fabulous fight scene, and he said you both had a discussion. You said, you know what, let's both just absolutely go for it.
Yeah. And look, he's an amazing athlete. He's a very good stuntman himself also. And, you know, if you look at that, the fight sequence that we have together, it was, we really had a lot of fun doing that.
He said he got bruised. I don't know how much fun he had.
Both of us got bruised. Look, when he picks me up and slams me on that table, you know, he's...
It's a real table.
Yeah, he's got to do it.
So do you walk away from that and go, he would actually beat me if we went at it properly? If you had a fight properly?
Why do you ask that question? It's like, I don't even think of stuff like that. I don't even think like I'm going to fight my friend.
That's right, because you're always thinking of the audience when you're making things.
Exactly. He's my friend. You know, that would never happen.
The question was awkward, but Tom's answer was measured, firm, and icy. The point was clear. He wasn't here to listen to silly hypotheses, especially ones that pitted him against his friends. Water. Incident.
This incident
Crossed the line from awkward to downright disrespectful. During a red carpet interview, a man dressed as a reporter splashed water in Tom's face.
Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Come here. Come here. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
He looked the dead man in the eyes. He repeated this phrase calmly, firmly, over and over again. The prankster was stunned.
That's ridiculous. Do you like making less of people? Is that you like doing mean things to people? That's really. Hey, no. Don't run away. Don't run away. No, let me go on. I don't care. That's incredibly rude. I'm here giving you an interview and answering your questions, and you do something really nasty. You're a jerk. You're a jerk. Well, you know what? You're a jerk.
Tom wasn't angry. He was disappointed. And that's what made everything so much more difficult. Life of a star. On Jimmy Kimmel Live, Jimmy tried to portray Tom as he really is.
And to be honest, I use you as a distraction to get to my car.
So I'm trying to help you out with it.
Appreciate that.
Tom smiled and then told the story that ended it all.
Like, get to where you're gonna go, and can you even, could you get on public transportation or go to a museum?
Look, I'm ready for whatever's gonna happen. So I don't change my life, but look, I like talking to people, and as I said, I make my movies for them, and I do go on transportation. My security loves that when I do that.
Yeah,
the tube in England.
Oh,
I do that. Like sometimes I'll put on my hat and my earphones, and I'll just go in and get on the tube just if I want to get to the studio.
Does that work?
Quickly.
Do people stop
Sometimes.
It does.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes people are during rush hour. Like I go in and I'll be there. And I remember one time I was there and there was like 14-year-old kid. This girl was there. And everyone was looking at their phones, and I just saw her. I looked over and kind of my head's down. I got my baseball cap, and she's just staring at me like this. And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and she just looked around the subway like this, and then looked back to me and I went. At the look she gave me, she just looked around and she was like, took her iPhone and went click and was like, I'll never forget her.
Tom doesn't brag, he just lives. And when challenged, he tells stories rather than makes excuses. Over the years, interviewers have tried it all. Loaded questions, personal attacks, cutting moments, and even physical antics. Tom never plays their games because he doesn't need to raise his voice to prove a point. He doesn't need to explode to maintain power.
It's beautiful, man! Beautiful!
He doesn't need to humiliate anyone to feel superior. His strength lies in restraint, in control, in the knowledge that silence or a well-chosen phrase can hurt more than any tirade. So the next time you see Tom Cruise smiling on a press tour, just remember that a smile isn't weakness, it's a warning. Because if you overstep your bounds, he won't shout. He'll outshine you. Thanks for joining us for this episode. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. See you in the next episode.